They see the loopholes that our incompetent government has created, and they have abused it.
If they don't fulfill any of the demands, there will be a hunger strike to death.
So we have the right to stay here.
We'll keep on striking until our last breath. We wouldn't give up.
I'm here to speak out against what is happening. It's not even about permanent residency. Canada's reputation for being such a soft country has gone global.
It's very hard to get a job in Canada right now. It's very difficult to secure even an interview.
It might be a little harder for the average Canadian to get a job now.
Conestoga made $140 million on tuition in the last 16 months.
And they're working in a minimum wage in a food restaurant. That does not bode well for the country.
Establish yourself here, you bring your entire family over, and then get use of all the social services that Canada offers. There's a couple of colleges that the Globe and Mail investigated, and they didn't even have classrooms in them, but they had places to process your immigration file.
We're helping new Canadians succeed and shape our country for the better.
There's a section of the society which is becoming rich off of these loopholes.
The rules were simple. You need to work 6 months, then you can apply for your permanent residency.
Rules were changed overnight and we were not even notified. We were working in sales sector, food sector, and we are now not even eligible to apply for nomination.
Right now I am on the streets of Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. Now the reason I'm here is because immigrant workers have taken to the streets to protest the expiry of their work permits. Recent change in the government's work permit policy has sparked protests over the past week. According to the Office of Immigration, the province is prioritizing skilled workers in high-demand sectors such as trades and healthcare. Individuals working in sales and the service sector may not receive invitations to apply for work permits. The people that have been protesting here are on postgraduate work permits, meaning that they once studied here in Canada and then were permitted to work here for a certain period of time on work permits. Now, we spent the day talking with locals, talking with the protesters, and just getting a better understanding of what the demands are of the protesters and how the locals feel about the immigrants working here in PEI. Is it helping the economy? Is it putting a burden on the economy? Do the locals care? Do they not care? Well, we spoke with them, we spoke with the protesters, and let me show you exactly what they had to say. If you would like to support my independent journalism, head on over to migrantreports.com.
We were here long before rules were implemented, and the reason we are here is because we demand that we need to be grandfathered, as we were unaware that this would have happened. This is the reason why the protest is here.
What would you say to people that claim you guys are just here on a temporary work visa, you don't have the right to stay? What would you say to those people?
So I would say to those people, why were we deducted the CPP, the Canada pension plan, at the very first paycheck? Why are we deducted the CPP on every paycheck after the first paycheck that we are going to get after 60 years of age?
Education, we spend a lot of money to rent as well. So we have the right to stay here.
Everyone is working, everyone is paying tax, so everyone has equal and fair rights to show in this country.
We are not trying to oppose the government, we are just trying them to do the fair thing.
If you think it's temporary, then you tell me one thing. So after 6 months, you guys just use us, right? We work for 6 months, then you said, okay, we cannot give you the PR, you need to go out. So it's like use, right? You just use it to get your work done.
Everybody is targeting that all foreign workers they are trying to live here illegally. They are spreading hate messages. And this is what we don't stand for. We don't want nothing for free. We just want them to be fair with us. From our perspective, this looks total discrimination.
First of all, we're having a good support from the city people who are living in the Charlottetown in Prince Edward Island. The people who are living over here, we're having a good support from them.
there's a lot of good workers here that are filling jobs, and it's definitely a good thing, keeps the economy going and stuff like that. But it might be a little harder for like the average Canadian to get a job now.
That we're putting the run to people who have come here to settle, to make a life for themselves and their family, and to enrich our society. To put the run to these people is immoral.
I appreciate what the government might be trying to do, but I don't think that how they did it may have been the best way to do it.
It would make more sense to get people that are skilled to fill positions that we like can't fill, rather than like something that like anybody, I guess, could get a job doing.
If you're going to let the Mexicans or the East Indians or the Asians come here and they're working in a minimum wage in a food restaurant, that does not bode well for the country.
It was the government that convinced everybody to please come because they felt there was a shortage in the workforce, that our population was an aging generations, and this is why they opened the doors, and now it seems like they're turning back.
Yeah, but I think if you look across the country, other jurisdictions have stopped doing this completely or have followed the lead that we've had and have ratcheted back that certain sectors. I say last year in Prince Edward Island, we nominated 855 people for a PR through sales and service. The year before that, we did roughly the same amount, just a little bit less. If the industry is doing a relatively good job in terms of retention, that should be a significant number to augment their labor force and to make sure their business is running and being successful.
Immigration remains an incredible strength and force for Canada and for the Canadian economy. Being able to welcome in people from around the world, particularly at this time of labor shortages, is good for our country and good for the future that we're building together.
Look, international students are a credit to this country, Mr. Speaker. They are the future of this country, and they are an asset that is very lucrative.
I came to Canada as a foreign student from India many years ago, back when this country was a much different and nicer place. I'm here to speak out against what is happening.
As requested, we have hidden the identity of the man interviewed in this section of the report. This is not the first time he has spoken out, and he feels it is necessary to bring awareness to this situation.
So what exactly is the purpose of so many people coming to Canada on these student visas? It is best explained here with this immigration flyer. It says that you come here as a student. Once you establish yourself here, you bring your entire family over and then get use of all the social services that Canada offers. They see the loopholes that our incompetent government has created, and they have abused it full throttle. But just last month, the teachers at Conestoga College were complaining that these kids are actually illiterate. They can't read, write, they don't know basic arithmetic. The loopholes here are many, such as attending a shady college and not even attending. There's a couple of colleges that the Globe and Mail investigated, and they didn't even have classrooms in them, but they had places to process your immigration file. Some of these colleges are even owned by immigration consultants. While most of us are suffering in this really poor economy, there's a section of the society which is becoming rich off of these loopholes. It's not even about permanent residency. Canada's reputation for being such a soft country has gone global, and everybody knows that the minute you step foot in Canada, the odds of you being sent home are almost zero. So forget about permanent residency. The idea is just to get into Canada, and if you have children here, they become Canadian citizens. PEI was chosen, just like the prairie provinces, came up with very short-sighted policies that allow people to work at restaurants